What's up, targeted individual Dell here. I hope your Tuesday is going better than mine. I have nothing but complaints and maybe a tiny bit of advice. Your targeters will stop at nothing to get you to unschmalive yourself. They will push every painful button that they've observed that you have. And don't forget that they have observed many things. If they're poking around in your head, they know what will hurt you. They know what will get you to have an emotional response that would benefit their goals, which are ultimately to get you to do something you likely don't want to do. And remember that you have no interest. Remember that. Don't forget that. Your targeters will stop at nothing to get you to... They will feed you a narrative that they believe will hurt your heart the most to get their desired outcome. And don't forget that. They want to hurt you so bad that you feel like you have no other choice but to do something that's irreversible. Don't let them do that. Hey, protect your goat. Don't let them get your goat. So just remember that. Remember that you're stronger than you think you are. Remember when they're making you when they're using their dues and they're sending you scents, because they can do that. They can make you smell things that you're not exposed to at the moment. They can make you feel things physical anywhere in your body that they've recorded, that you've experienced. If you have cats, your cat just took a fresh shit, and you unfortunately have to smell that for a second because you're in the room. They'll record your brain being exposed to that scent and play it back. If you go into a public restroom, they'll record that scent and play it back. Anything that makes you uncomfortable. Anything that makes you uncomfortable. Anything that makes you unhappy. They will record that and they will run it back whenever they think is appropriate to get an emotional response from you. They'll play it back when you're feeling sorry for yourself, when you're feeling bad about your targeting. They'll play it back whenever they think is appropriate. Not just sense, any physical sensation that you feel at all. Any physical sensation, any bit of pain, they'll record it and they'll write an entire program full of all the pains that you've experienced during your targeting. And then they'll play it back to you whenever they feel it's necessary. Maybe even pleasurable sensations, they'll play it back to you after they've recorded it whenever they feel like it. So don't forget they can do that. And if and when they inevitably use that against you, don't give them the satisfaction of believing that it's significant, because it's not. Just don't forget that their dues can record any sensation that you feel at all. Anything that any of your senses can recognize. Any of your touch, any of your smell, any of your feel, any of your emotions, any of your anything like that. They can record it all. They'll record every signal. And when they feel it's appropriate and the most significant to do the maximum amount of pain and damage, they'll play it. They'll run it. And you just have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Right now, I'm at the point where they're trying to control my breathing. They have started counting and trying to provoke me to breathe, like inhale and exhale on their command, because they recognize that, just like T.I. Sunshine Off Grid said, that I'm unkillable in that way, that they won't break me enough emotionally or physically in any way to convince me to unashlive myself, because I can handle it. So they'll play back anything they think will be significant enough to emotionally, physically, to just mess you up. And you don't have any control over what they do. So you take things as they come. You take your intrusive thoughts, because they're not intrusive, they're forced. They force those thoughts on you. They're not your thoughts. Even though they might be in your voice, some of you TIs, I know you have thoughts that are not yours. They don't come from your fucking brain. But they'll force them on you. They're not yours. Don't take ownership over that. You're stronger than that. Don't let them convince you that they're controlling you. Deny that shit for as long as you can. For forever. Because fuck that. They just want to make you feel like you have no control. You do have control. You have control. More than you think you know. You will have days where you wake up from their dream manipulation and the dreams weren't awful, and you'll feel good for half the day. You'll feel even somewhat close to normal for half the day, for a part of the day. And then it'll hit you with something that's emotionally really challenging to overcome. And you'll turn to your vices, which is what I did today. And I'm not ashamed to admit, but I leaned heavily on my vices today. You know, I'm smoking. I've got this vape. It even got so bad where I was where I was not convinced, but inspired to purchase a different type of smokable, like a Black and Mild is what I'm really leaning towards, you know, because that's something else that I smoke. I didn't buy like a whole pack of cigarettes, but I did buy it, like, you know, a Black and Mild. You know, I'm struggling. I struggle like every day, even if I wake up and the dreams weren't enough to destroy me right when I open my eyes, or right when I regain consciousness into this base reality. They'll do what they can to inspire your destruction. And sometimes you give in, and that's okay. But only just a little bit. You cannot give in to them. You cannot let them convince you. You cannot let them convince you to do what they want you to do. What do they want you to do? You already know. I'm sure. If you're anywhere near my fucking situation, my shoes, if you're walking around in some fucking size 10.5s or whatever, you already know what they want you to do. And they'll feed you whatever narrative that they think will hurt you the most in order to get you to believe that you should. But you shouldn't. Why? It's not theirs. It's yours. Your decisions should always 100% be, no matter how painful, no matter how agonizing and terrorizing, it should always be to live. Don't let them win. They never will, right? Yeah. They'll never fucking win. And you know what? Flup them. I'm trying to censor myself because I don't really know, like, the YouTube, censor information. You know what I mean? I don't want to get banned or anything. I don't want my sound to be muted. But never let them win. No matter how hard things get, don't give them that satisfaction. It doesn't matter how much they say they're making so much money off of you because of their viewers, or how much they try to confuse you. No matter how much you hear your love interest in your head. No matter how much you can't trust, or how much you don't believe you can trust your family members. Don't give them the satisfaction, because that's how they win. Who do you want to win? Do you want to win? Or do you want them to win? Ask yourself that. And ultimately, them winning means you doing something to yourself that you should not and cannot do. You cannot. And not just because I say you cannot, but because you cannot for yourself and for the people who actually need you and who love you, who care about you. They're not going to understand. They won't understand. Your family, your loved ones, your friends, even if they don't deny that there's a possibility, even if they acknowledge the patents exist online, searchable, you cannot make such a final decision over speculation and hearsay, because you have little support. Support yourself. And damn, if you need support, hit me up, man. I need support too. Support would be so amazing. Understanding would be so amazing. But, I don't get that here. So we self-soothe. And we just keep going. We're a fucking Energizer bunny out this bitch. We're supercharged. If if the battery cell took life energy or a willingness to live through all of this awful pain, it's full. It's full and inexpendable, infinitely inexpendable. And we hurt. We hurt bad. But that energy is not drainable. Right? I hope you all feel that way, because I feel that way. I hurt so bad. You can see it. You can literally watch this whole 15-minute, 16-minute video and see how much pain I have. And my resolve is still just as strong as it was before I started filming, as should yours be. You TI out there, you're strong. You hear that and you feel it. You're strong. You have the ability to persevere. You will feel pain. You will feel alienation. You will feel ostracized. You will feel unheard. You will feel slandered. You will feel smear campaigns against you. You'll feel all of that. But you will persevere. Because that's what we have to do. Your experience is important. Not only to you, but to everyone else who's going through this. One day, and hopefully one day soon, we will get the resolve that we need. Some way to combat this energy. I don't know if you're dealing with implants. Maybe for some of you older heads, that might be the case. Maybe even for me. I don't know. I don't have the tech to scan for it. I don't think this new tech needs that, though. I don't think you need something as invasive as an implant. It's very possible I have one, but how would I know? My V2K comes from only my left side. It only comes from the left side. It doesn't come from the right side unless there's some other weird situation. But all they need is access to your, what is it called? Your occipital lobe, where your hearing is in your brain located, you know. I encourage you to learn about your brain. Learn about what the brain's different areas are responsible for. It helps understand, but it's also very terrifying. So, you know, if you have the ambition to learn, don't forget that everything that you learn it's more scary than not knowing. So don't forget that. If you're into horror, then, you know, you've got your own little fucking horror story that's absolutely awful. Like the worst horror story imaginable. Fuck ghosts, and devils, and demons and things like that. You literally have technology developed by our own government aimed at your head. Terrifying. Educate yourself. I'm going to try to end this at 20 minutes. Just stay strong. Do not seek support in people who have an emotional hold over you. It's kind of where I'm at right now. Trying not to lean into the thralls of a honey trap. There was a video that I was watching about falling for a honey trap that's like, once you know, you know. But you can't fully lean on that. People involved in these programs will deceive you. They will knowingly deceive you, understanding exactly how devastating their actions and their words and their energy towards you will be. And if you're just like brain full of marbles like me at this point, then discerning between authenticity versus intended deception is really difficult to discern. So, I mean, for me, if you have advice on how to not be so gullible, let me know. You know what I mean? Like, I still have trouble with that. All right. You guys stay strong out there. Good luck.